So how has that played out, say, since the beginning of your career? Because, you know, as we were talking on the phone, you said that this is a very important topic to you because along the way, you know, from what you said in your text, that your life got pretty well screwed up several years ago.
Yeah, well, that relationship was specifically with my wife, and I had the rude awakening a little over 3 years ago when she basically said, we had gotten our dream home in Vegas, and she said, "I'll help you move in, but I'm not staying." And I was, the typical guy that was running his business, coming home. I'd tell my wife all about my business wins, and then I would fall asleep on the couch. And she said, "This isn't working for me. Like you're not showing up as the dad you said you'd be. You're not showing up as the husband you said you'd be. So I'm out of here." After many warnings and me not changing. And I think what happens is, for me, I was sitting in this beautiful, gorgeous, big home with all the fixings alone. And I thought, this couldn't be any further from the success of what I wanted in my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, cool, you make all this money and your daughter is in another state being fed dinner by another dude because whatever business you were running apparently was so much more important than her. And it became a very, I was like, well, that's not the way I want to live my life. So that had a massive transformation on what happened moving forward and the way I show up today for my wife and, for my daughter, which I'm actually really excited because we're giving her first dog today. She's 5.5, and we can't wait to go pick it up and surprise her with it when she comes home from school.
That's awesome. So you're still married to your first wife then?
Yeah, well, she's my second wife, but yeah, no, we got back together about 4 or 5 months after, we were separated, not even separated, like we were done and moved on, but we ended up working it out. And, now it's been amazing, but I had to really learn some real valuable things. And I always break it down to the real simple, basic thing. Like for me, the reason why I have such an amazing relationship with my wife now and my business is growing and I'm healthier than I've ever been and I feel more connected to the people who are in my life than I ever have is 3Ds. I call it the dishes, diapers, and dates theory.
Okay. You explain that to me.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you're going to dirty a dish, clean your dish. If you've got a kid in diapers, change them every once in a while. And make sure to take your significant other on a date that they want to go to, not just everything that you want to do. You know what I mean? So again, it's that servant-hearted leadership. It's the other-focused mentality that says it's not just all about me. And so many driven entrepreneur A-type personality guys, it's almost by default, they feel like everybody's there to support them, fulfill their vision, and they don't even see it. We have a name for the guy that I used to be. We call him Trevor. And
Okay.
so like if ever I start acting up, Evan, my wife's like, "Wow, that looks a lot like Trevor." I'm like, "No, we don't like Trevor. Trevor's not allowed in this house anymore."
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
But I see it all the time. Like I can tell, when I meet guys that they got families and whatever, that's who I kind of relate more to is, the guy, I've got 4 kids, a wife and 4 kids. And, it's a juggling act. Right. And when I can just tell guys who are really into themselves, it's like, oh, we got a Trevor on our hands. And it's only a matter of time before that blows up. But sometimes, a lot of women won't stand up for themselves. And I don't know how many women you have listening to this podcast, but I can tell you this, if you're settling in any way, shape, or form, it's Trevor's don't get better. Your life's not going to get better until you stand up for exactly what you want. And I think that applies maybe for everybody, but for specifically women that are there married to entrepreneurs or support. Do you have a lot of women that listen to this podcast, Evan?
we got a few.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully if any of them are feeling stuck or not knowing what to do, that they will stand up for themselves. I was so proud of my wife that she stood up and said, "This isn't acceptable. This is what we agreed to, and I'm out of here."